You're a neuroscientist and you spent a lot of time researching exercise. Tell us a little bit about what you study and how you got into this research.
So I was busily studying a really cool and important part of the brain called the hippocampus, critical for forming new memories. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, I gained 25 pounds. But I'm only 5'4". I gained 25 full pounds. I was struggling and I ended up going to the gym and saying, okay, I'm going to try and do this. And I lost the 25 pounds. And I started to notice not only was my mood elevated, but what really made me sit up and take notice is that my writing ability seemed to be better. My focus was deeper and longer, and my hippocampal dependent long-term memory was also better in me. And that led to my switch of research direction from focusing only on the physiology of the hippocampus and how it works to trying to understand how movement improves our brain.
This is fascinating. So what are the immediate effects then of exercise on the brain, and how long do those last?
This is the visual I give everybody. Every single time you move your body, including just a 10-minute walk outside, you are giving your brain a wonderful bubble bath of neurochemicals. What are those wonderful neurochemicals? You have heard of them. Dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline. That is that mood boost and motivation boost that you get when you move your body. But that's not all. You're also getting other growth factors. One in particular is called BDNF. And that helps stimulate the birth of brand new brain cells in my favorite brain area, back in the hippocampus. And so while new brain cells don't pop up every single time you go for a walk, you are basically giving the hippocampus that environment with that wonderful bubble bath of neurochemicals and growth factors to help brand new brain cells grow and help make your hippocampus stronger and better.
How long does that bubble bath of neurochemicals last after you exercise for a bit of time?
So studies that I've done in my lab suggest that a single workout can last for at least 2 hours, but it really depends on how hard you work out. You can start to see some effects, that is some of the mood effects, your anxiety, your depression will go down after a shorter workout or a shorter walk. So, I mean, that's a huge benefit from a relatively little output, and is something that everybody can do. Getting out and walking for 10 minutes, can you do that?
Absolutely. So, well, I gotta ask, what is it about the actual physical movement that triggers stuff in the brain, even though your arms and legs are far from the brain?
We're starting to answer that question. We don't have all of the answers. And so let me outline 3 of the pathways that we know are contributing to those brain benefits. Number 1, we know that there are factors called myokines that are released from our muscles when we work out that go into the bloodstream. They pass into the brain through what's called the blood-brain barrier, which is a very tight, very strict barrier. We don't let anything go into the brain, but that's one thing that helps translate from moving muscles to brain change. Number 2, factors released from the liver. Ketone bodies from the liver. Recently, we've appreciated that those also pass through the blood-brain barrier and can affect brain function. Number 3, factors released from our fat tissue. So something good that our fat tissue does, release factors that can also go through the blood-brain barrier and are stimulating some of this neurochemical bath that is benefiting the brain.
So that's fantastic. But what's the long-term impact on the brain by consistent exercising?
Number 1 is that long-term exercise stimulates the birth of brand new brain cells in your hippocampus. And everybody should want new brain cells in your hippocampus because it helps you remember all the facts and events that make up your own personal histories. It's your own personality that the hippocampus is helping you create. And the other function that people don't talk about as much, because this is a much more recently discovered function of the hippocampus, is importance for imagination. Putting things together in your mind that you know about, but that had never been put together before. So do you want brand new shiny cells in that structure? Yes, I do, because I need my memory to work really well. And the hippocampus is so vulnerable to aging and neurodegenerative disease states. What you're doing with these regular workouts is you're making your hippocampus big and strong and fat and fluffy so that you can withstand things that come at you with aging, and if you happen to have Alzheimer's in your DNA, as I do.
Well, look, this is fascinating. Where do we go from here? And what would you recommend to everyday folks like myself and our viewers?
So my specific analogy is that regular exercise in your life is like a supercharged 401k for the health of your brain. Why do I call it supercharged? I call it supercharged for the reasons we've already talked about. You get immediate benefit every single time you're working out, and you don't have to wait all that long time just to benefit at the very end. And the other really important point is no matter when or how long you are depositing, you are getting more and more brain protection. We know that long-term regular exercise can lead to years of staving off dementia. Even walking more can stave off dementia. And I'm not just saying that. We know that people in their 70s who have already been diagnosed with Alzheimer's dementia have been shown to benefit from regular walking, in the sense that their dementia scores go down significantly after a 3-month walking program. So it's never too late to start. And I like to say that if you haven't had a great workout regimen started in your life, that's great, because you have to do the littlest amount of work to get the biggest benefits.